A very good evening and a warm welcome to our second edition of UBC News Tonight on this 9th day of February 2023. I'm LAURYN Masika Kazimoto. Now, in our first story this evening, Uganda National Examination Board has released the 2022 Senior 4 examination results, with male students performing better than female students. The candidates performed better, with failure rate dropping by 1% compared to the previous examination diet. The Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, officiated the release of the examination at an event held at State House, Nakasero.
Are the results. I thank you and God bless you all.
Uganda National Examinations Board has released the 2022 Certificate of Education examination results with a percentage point improvement. 345,695 candidates sat for the UCE examinations in 2022 compared to 333,396 who sat in 2020, hence registering an increase in candidature of 4.8%. The Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, has instructed the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education and Sports, Katie Lamaro, to conduct a study that will help the ministry authoritatively inform the nation on the gap in favour of males as per the results.
Therefore, must be concerned that over 30,000 girls do not transition to complete the next level after PLE. Consequently, we at the Ministry of Education and Sports consider this a matter of great concern, and we find it necessary to provide an explanation to the nation regarding this challenge that affects the education and development of the girl child.
The results indicate that English language improved at credit and overall pass level, but declined at the distinction level. Performance of physics and chemistry has improved, although the overall pass rate has slightly declined, and 40% of candidates have not passed the two subjects. The Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, said the poor performance in biology is being addressed through curriculum review.
These reviews aim at, among other things, doing away with obsolete information, reducing subject content overload, and contact hours in the classroom, so as to create time for research, talent development, and creativity, among other things. This, we hope, will help improve the learners' performance.
The Executive Director, Uganda National Examinations Board, Dan Odong, said learners in some schools still cram passages, use SMS language in examinations, and have poor mathematical skills, which affected their performance.
Being encouraged by the teachers, where a candidate doing an experiment takes the first reading, and if they are supposed to take 6 readings, the next 5 readings simply vary by a fixed value from the first one. And then they end up with these forged figures in their experimental results. And you may find that candidates, a large number of candidates in an examination class have reproduced exactly the same readings, which obviously is not possible where candidates are working independently.
Meanwhile, UNEB has withheld examination results for 1,035 candidates over suspected examination malpractice that includes external assistance, collusion, impersonation, and script substitution. The Ministry of Education and Sports has reiterated that it will not tolerate examination malpractices, and UNEB will not hesitate to suspend or even cancel the affected examination centres. I'm Nafka Farida and Philip Aguta in Kampala.
Senior 4 candidates are in a celebratory mood following the release of the 2022 Uganda Certificate of Education results. Although it's evident that there were few perfect scores of 18/8, many students excelled and qualify for further education.
Teachers mix freely with their students in dance are reserved for occasions such as these at Crescent Secondary School, Machindie, where the 2022 UCE results have put a smile on faces. At Crescent, there were 40 first grades and 37 second grades.
We didn't expect to get students with 8 and very many students in grade 1 because, as you all know, it was not a very easy time. But we thank God that these students have managed to pass so well. The trick was that we worked very hard. We worked hand in hand with the teachers and the parents, and the students were also motivated to work very hard. And discipline was paramount, so all worked together to make good results.
My name is Alana Johnson. I got 18 aggregates. My dream is to become a sports scientist.
Almost 100% pass rate at St. John and Rumu Senior Secondary School in Kabalagala has provided an early gift ahead of next month's celebrations to mark 20 years of existence.
My name is Mike Shironde, the director of Janan Schools. I'm here to thank God for good performance we have exhibited today. We have 91 first grades and 41 second grades, and our best students has 9 points, and we are very, very grateful for this good performance. I thank God for the teachers who have worked so hard, the students, and as well as parents. We thank you so much, and we believe that we are now moving to another level, A level.
Few schools in Uganda truly embrace historic education. That, however, can be said for Budo Senior Secondary School in Wachiso district, that not only tops charts in co-curricular activities like sports, but also in education.
Our results in the first place have been released, and we want to thank God for that, because we have cases where some learners have not managed to receive their results. But we are so happy to the Lord that we have managed to receive our results. And our general performance has been good. We have got a total of 214 first grades. Division 2 have had 116 second grades. So above all, we thank God for that performance. Our best student has scored 8 in 8. We have a good number of students, a total of 6 who have scored 9 in 8. And then we have 4 students who have scored 10 aggregates in their best 8 subjects.
I'm very happy because God has enabled me to get 9 in 8, and some people have been not able to get it. I thank my parents, I thank my teachers.
Historically, schools like St. Mary's College Chisubi have produced some of the best in the country, and yet again have repeated that feat with 235 first grades and 5 8 in 8 candidates.
We are following our vision. The vision of the school is to be the leading school in the country, producing quality citizens of high morals.
We have achieved these quality results because of 2 things, majorly following the vision, the mission, and the core values of the college. Because of the discipline we have, coupled with the gallant teachers of the college, we have managed, and we are still registering the best quality education, not only results, but best quality education in Uganda.
Kept on having Zoom lessons, also had WhatsApp where you kept in touch, communicating. They could send in questions, you keep answering. And even when they came back, together with our head of academics, we created extra lessons to make sure we catch up with the backlog of the topics.
In Mkono municipality, SETA schools yet again shone brightest, with all 4 campuses in a joy and confined mood.
Presented 241 candidates for UCE, and 225 out of the 241 got first grade, with over 20 students scoring between 8 and 9. We are very grateful to the Almighty God for the blessing He has given us.
I also want to thank our directors, Dr. Jessamine and Moses, Jessamine and the wife, for all the support that they have given to us. I appreciate the teachers, the parents, the support staff. It has been so great.
At SETA High A-level campus, 90 candidates registered, with several scoring aggregate 9 in 8, and all here eligible for further education.
We are happy to receive our O-level results today. The performance showed an improvement from last year, We are very happy that all our results returned and all our children passed and are able to join schools of their choice.
For Seta Green Campus, success was attributed to good working relationships among stakeholders, this coupled with commitment to God.
226 students sat for UCE 2022 and 200 out of these got first grade, the rest second grade. I'm here to thank God, first of all, thanking the parents, thanking our teachers and the board of governors.
At Brixton Senior Secondary School, Watuba, in Wachiso District, celebrations were all over as 30 students passed in grade 1, while the rest were in second grade.
We are very much excited and we thank the Almighty Allah who has enabled us to perform. Our students have performed really well. My appeal to the parents is that they should really pay fees and they should give us more students because they have seen that we can.
I really appreciate the energy, all the things that the teacher did for us, all the things that our parents did us. For real, I appreciate it. And I thank the Almighty to enable us to pass with flying colors.
Seat of Wisdom Senior Secondary School in Kasao Kayunga District prides in 45 first and second grades, with good marks registered by all that sat exams at this Lugazi Diocese School. Uganda Matters High School Lubaga continues to excel at all levels, as evidenced by these Uganda Certificate of Education results that have been welcomed with applause.
I want to thank the Lord for the performance we have put up. We sat 200 students and we have managed to produce one with 8, one with 9, and in total we have managed to produce 85 first grades, and we have not had any student who has failed.
Like has been the case since inception, Namilembe Hillside in Kitetika has again passed highly.
They staged the fight and finally they have made it. We have performed fairly well, not to our expectations, but all the time we thank God. We have 52 students who performed in Division 1, 43 students passed in Division 2, 19 students passed in Division 3. Total of 122 students sat UCE exams 2022.
At Kailo Schools, Bukasa Muyenga, 82 students sat for exams and over 20 got Division 1, while the rest were in Division 2 and 3 respectively.
We have done marvelously. We have performed well, 31 first grade and 20 second grade. We haven't got NAU. This is an outstanding performance.
Prove bravery. They are very brave about the performance.
Well, you can see the happiness in their faces. Well done. The Vice President, Major Jessica Lupo, has reaffirmed government's commitment to supporting and solving the problems of special interest groups, including those faced by persons with disabilities. She was officiating at the Leadership and Mindset Change course organized by the Ministry of Gender for leaders of persons with disabilities at the National Leadership Institute in Chankwanzi. At the same function, leaders of people with disability endorsed President Yoweri Museveni for 2026.
The far we have moved in this government.
When he came onto this seat of presidency, he rightly scientifically diagnosed the issues that affect Uganda.
He's the only person who gave us hope as persons with disabilities. He created our own ministry.
That is why today we are here recognized as an interest group.
So, please people, support me. We endorse this motion.
Proposed by Honorable Asamo Helen Breast
our state minister for disability.
Come 26. Continue to drive Uganda.
People with disabilities in Uganda, they are on their knees.
Yoweri Kaguta Museveni Akiki to stand in 2026 unopposed and so can the Westerners stand up and see whether we sustain the nation.
Without teamwork in any organization, even when people are not disabled, things don't work out. So you are the ones who taught the whole world to work as a team. It is a pleasure for me to join you in Chankwanzi at this leadership and mindset change course of leaders of persons with disability. And I am made to understand that this course is to cultivate the culture of sacrifice and commitment to national duty among you, the leaders of persons with disabilities, and to make you incredible and knowledgeable patriots in Uganda. When I was with some of you in Ikole district during the commemoration of the International Day of Persons with Disability, I launched many policy documents to enhance the well-being of persons with disability. This included a braille version of the Constitution, the revised National Policy of Persons with Disability, the audio-visual version of the Persons with Disability Act 2020, and a comprehensive report on albinism situation in Uganda. And all of you know that Uganda became the 13th country in the world to have a braille version of the Constitution. This is not a mean achievement. It requires a lot of visioning and focused leadership for such landmark milestones to be attained and sustained. Therefore, this mindset change course is to empower you with such skills of sustaining such achievements and adding more to remain pace setters on the world map. When we were launching the Braille Constitution the other time, and then we were telling the blind person to read, then the person was reading, and then he told us, now it is you people who are disabled. You cannot read this. It is now my singular honor and privilege to declare this transformative leadership course for persons with disabilities officially open. And I thank you once again.
The first Vice Chairman of the National Resistance Movement, Alhaji Moses Chigongo, has cautioned NRM party coordinators across the country against corruption. Chigongo made these remarks during the closing of a two-day orientation of NRM party coordinators countrywide. We have the details in this report.
The national chairman, NRM, has conducted an orientation of NRM coordinators on the party ideology and government operations aimed at developing local people. While closing this orientation, the vice chairman of NRM party, Brigadier General Alhaji Moses Chigongo, cautioned the coordinators against indulging in corruption.
Corrupt tendencies can fail you and the movement as well. So don't be tempted with money to become corrupt.
Haji Chigongo tasked the coordinators to create a conducive environment within the masses by helping them to understand government programs aimed at curbing poverty among them.
Be focused. You must know where we have come from, where we have reached, and where we are going. We are not in a hurry. It's better for us to move slowly but surely, and we shall reach there.
Respecting people, telling them the real truth about the ideology of NRM should be emphasized by coordinators, according to Chigongo.
Understand the chain of command. When you don't understand the chain of command, you can get problems when you are exercising your mandate. Understand the authority of the office you hold and align your behavior properly.
According to the Office of the National Chairman of NRM, leaders at the grassroots need to appreciate government's intention of elevating household poverty. The Senior Presidential Advisor on Political Affairs, Hajat Hadija Namyalo, said the intention of this orientation is to achieve what President Museveni promised people during the elections, and this can only be achieved if the party coordinators get to the grassroots and address people's needs and demands.
Ensure that all programs are thriving. The yoga, the PDMs, the schools, those grants that are given to schools, make sure that they are put to the appropriate use.
She also warned them against engaging in corruption tendencies as they execute their duties, stressing that they will still have no room for non-performers. Lydia Chomkama, Joseph Muyingo, UBC News.
So far, 2 candidates have been successfully nominated on the first day in Serere District to vie for the Serere County Parliamentary by-election slot, which fell vacant late last year following the sudden death of Patrick Okabe. ANT's Alice Alaso and late Okabe's son Emmanuel Omoding Okabe, contesting as an independent candidate, are the only ones nominated on the first day.
Nominations for Serere County parliamentary by-elections have commenced this Thursday, 9th February 2023. Patrick Okabe's son, Emmanuel Omoding, was the first to be nominated as an independent candidate.
We are here to accomplish and to do the things for the community that Papa Okabe had started.
Alliance for National Transformation candidate Alice Alaso sealed off the Thursday nomination exercise.
To the Parliamentary Elections Act 2005, declare Alaso Alice duly nominated as a candidate to contest for election as Member of Parliament for Serere constituency.
I want to effectively represent these people and exercise the mandate of representation, the mandate of legislation, and the mandate of overseeing government, pursuing what the people of Serere need.
Present in the district to witness her nomination was the party president, retired Major General Mugisha Muntu, among others.
Building our networks on the ground, and we are going to touch base with literally the whole area of Serere, reaching out, showing them who they are. I believe most of them already know, because we had done extensive work here in Serere among the districts that we had operated in as Alliance for National Transformation, and as we coordinate effort with the other sister parties, we see how we can take this seat in this by-election.
NRM's Philip Oucho is among those who will be seeking for the candidature approval for the same position.
We hope to have the NRM flag bearer nominated tomorrow on the 10th of February 2023. We hope to have a nomination rally here in Serere town, and the guest of honor during the nomination exercise is expected to be Alhaji Moses Chigongo, the National Vice Chairman of NRM, to come and unveil Mr. Philip Oucho as our flag bearer.
Official campaigns are scheduled for 13th February 2023. This by-election is as a result of 19th December 2022 fatal accident which claimed the life of Serere County Member of Parliament, Patrick Okebe, his wife, and the driver.
The Board of National Social Security Fund has faced division over 1.8 billion shillings budget for corporate social responsibility. In an afternoon engagement with Parliament Select Committee investigating NSSF saga, the board members failed to account for the 1.8 billion shillings, which later turned out as a cash bonanza to the top stakeholders of NSSF. Some board members denied participation in the breakdown of the funds, which fueled confusion in the investigation.
The chairman of the National Social Security Fund Board, Peter Chimbowa, led the board members to the afternoon session with a committee set aside to investigate the scandals at the fund. The session started with the committee asking Dr. Sam Lumochi, a member of the board, to withdraw his earlier status that the select committee is biased and thus sanitizing the investigations, yet he had reappeared again to the same committee.
I can make allegation, I can make what, but if there is no facts, it's a wastage of time. And to me, when he was talking, I was laughing because I have intelligence reports, I have this, but I know him.
If that petition that I have conflicts and you think I cannot continue, then so be it. But I stand by those words, because even the letter, that police thing, even himself is summoned, it is there, everything is there. So for him to say that was between on two, when actually he himself was also, and even made a statement, very, very deep thing. There are things that I cannot speak here to embarrass him.
Dr. Lumochi declined and turned the discussion personal with MP Charles Bakabulindi, basing on their dirty political history. The committee chairperson, Mwine Mpaka, guided that Dr. Lumochi moves out of the session since he maintained that the committee was biased.
Against me, I request the committee to give me time, space in the absence of my brother. But if it's not possible, then so be it. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Wish you a good evening.
Okay.
Can we proceed?
In the current financial year 2022-2023, NSSF secured 1.8 billion shillings, which was approved by the NSSF board to cater for corporate social responsibility. However, the success of the allocation was a blessing to the board members who turned the fund into a cash bonanza.
You changed and called it corporate social investment. So the chairman of the board, you have been allocated 250 million to donate as and when you wish, and this money cannot be accounted for. The whole board, you have been allocated 500 million to donate how and when you think you want.
I got to know about the repeated allocation yesterday from the media.
The members of the board, including the chairperson, Peter Chimbowa, could not explain the fate of the 1.8 billion as the committee noticed a misunderstanding between the board and the management of NSSF.
Chair, that budget that you saw yesterday was never presented to the board, actually. You recall yesterday I said I was also hearing that allocation for the first time. I was on record. If you look at our minutes, that allocation...
But you passed the 1.8 billion budget.
Yes, Chair, that was passed. And the board, I believe, accepts that they passed it. They did.
And professional subscriptions. That's the budget line. And that is what we approved. Now, this breakdown of money going to board members to what must be somebody's creation, which we are not part of.
The investigations also unearthed a move by former Managing Director Richard Byarugaba behind the breakdown of the expenditure for the funds as chaired by the stakeholders.
What informed the figure of 1.8 billion if there were no departmental work plans and the estimates for corporate social responsibility or investment, whatever you call it?
We were having a meeting in Ibulala in Mbarara. There is a hotel there called Ibulala. I was with Dr. Silva Mujishai discussing the other things. Then Byarugaba himself came with a phone and openly and scored it that in the budget we shall have this one for you. Now, what is this?
Hassan Hamidat, a board member of NSSF, pins Dr. Sam Leomochi and Deputy Managing Director Patrick Ayota in the support of the controversial 6 billion request by Minister Betty Among.
That one is not even a secret.
Who else on the board? Everybody knows it is not even a secret.
Yeah, that one is not. But except the people are sensitive with information. Maybe I'm not sensitive, but I feel.
Who else was supporting that move apart from Dr. Omochi and Mr. Ayota? Who else?
At least in my assessment,
those two.
Yeah.
The MPs also noted that the NSSF board did not participate in the appointment of Patrick Ayota as the acting MD as prerequisite by the law. The committee is in its last days of investigations as directed recently by the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among. Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
Some lawyers are appealing to government to renew the United Nations Human Rights Commission's contract of serving its mandate of protecting human rights in Uganda. This follows a recent letter circulating in the public domain, purportedly authored by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to United Nations Human Rights Commission in Uganda, terminating its services in the country.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has reported the halted activities of the Office of the United Nations Human Rights in Uganda, citing that the country has capacity to ease human rights-related issues, and particularly now that the country is at peace. This also comes at a time when President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, while at the 24th Annual Judges Conference, hinted at the services of the United Nations as far as security in Uganda is concerned.
Which I consider an insult, to be guarded by the UN as if we are imbeciles. I can't be guarded by the UN. UN will never come here in Uganda to guard us. It's an insult. We can defend ourselves. Money or no money.
However, some politicians and lawyers claim the Office of the High Commission for Human Rights in Uganda has been playing a vital role in ensuring that people's rights are not violated.
I think what it will cause is it will be a miscarriage of justice. It will mean that people may not get justice, even those who had petitioned them. It will mean that they will take longer to receive any form of compensation or redress. I still hope that there is a window of government to reverse its decision.
They will be short of at least the technical guidance they could get, maybe as amicus curiae or as support of training in human rights. Human rights is a technical area. It's not properly taught in law schools, so not every judge knows it. So,
lawyers argue that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs halting the Commission's services is an act of paving way to human rights violators to pursue their undeserving acts.
We have a dormant, intimidated, frail and threatened civil society, and it cannot be the one to cite as a reason for expelling UN experts here.
So it going away coupled with the exit of the DGF, meaning that all the local civic organizations are much, much weaker. We know that the National Human Rights Commission, Uganda Human Rights Commission, has its challenges as well. Challenges of competence, but also challenges of funding. Like they say, they can't even properly execute their mandate.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs further cited that the country is equipped with strong human rights and civil society institutions. However, advocates think otherwise.
Peace without human rights respect is not peace. That is talking about absence of war and confusing it with peace. I would advise the minister to refresh his knowledge on what amounts to peace.
We should know that the biggest argument against violation has always been that government has not had the political will to fight torture, for instance, to fight violations, because the oppressors are not brought book. We've never seen military police officers being brought to book as a result of the violations or individual violations.
2006 to promote human rights in the country after the defeat of the Lord's Resistance Army insurgency in northern and eastern Uganda by Joseph Kony.
With the rise in human rights violations, we can only think that this is going to be a turn for the worse. We still think that there is a window for government to reverse its decision. it will send very, very bad signals at a time when human rights violations are so high, at a time
transport to the wrong person. Here's how to reverse it with MTN Mobile Money. Dial *165#. Select My Account. Select Initiate Reversal. You will see your last 3 transactions. Select the transaction you want to reverse. Enter your mobile money PIN and you'll get an SMS confirmation that the transaction has been blocked from being withdrawn. And that's it. Please note, only transactions that haven't been withdrawn can be reversed.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
This is our family's pride.
This is my friend.
This is the future of our nation.
She is the future of Uganda, and the policies I enact today will protect her from teenage pregnancy.
She is the hope of our community, and I will talk to others about how we must protect her.
She is our family's pride, and I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Their support meant so much to me. I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sauti 116.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash hands with soap, it means clean hands for all. This is a message from the National Hand Washing Secretariat.
So these receipts, okay, plus this one equals
Keeping up with your transaction history the old way.
1,000. Okay, I got this. I don't. Okay, maybe if I can just.
Keeping up with your transaction history with the My Airtel app. You have the power in your pocket. The power to keep an eye on your transaction history. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
Welcome back from that break. And now in more news, renowned British sports commentator Rob Walker has visited the Tariet Sports Centre in Kapchora district. The high-altitude sports centre, located on the slopes of Mount Elgon, which is under construction by the government, will provide local and international athletes with a conducive environment for training for local, regional and international athletics competitions.
Renowned British sports commentator Rob Walker has been accorded a VIP treatment by the head of state, President Yoweri Museveni, who offered him a helicopter to take him to Kapchora district. Walker is admired in Uganda, especially by the sports and tourism fraternity, for his personal diplomatic role he has played for the country in various competitions.
And when you get to the last 200 meters, when your legs are burning and you're desperate to stop, think of that flag and think of all the people who'll be watching, cheering you back home. Try and find that extra 2 meters, because it might make a difference between a team bronze or finishing fourth in a team competition.
In the trip to the land of long-distance champions, the veteran journalist was accompanied by top officials from the National Council of Sports, the State Minister for Sports Peter Ogwang, and Lilia Jarova, the Chief Executive Officer, Uganda Tourism Board.
We must win as a team. So as you go to Australia, I want to comment on behalf of government. We are going to facilitate each and every one of you to go to Australia as government of Uganda.
People out there talk about they want to come to Africa to see the big five. Yeah. So when they talk about the lions, the elephants, the leopards, those are the big five. Tell them in Uganda we have the mighty 7, not just the big 5. And the extra 2 includes the chimpanzees and the mountain gorillas.
The delegation interacted with the local leaders and athletes and Jacob Kiplimo, who are in camp in preparation for the World Athletics Championships in Australia next week. Team Uganda lauded Walker for his solid support to the athletes and the country as a whole.
We want to thank you so much for coming, and to Mr. Rob, I wish you a nice day in Kapchora. Kapchora actually, the translate this is called the home of friends.
Be a good sportsman demands a lot of discipline. To your person, from your timing, can you wake up in time and train? Even when you feel that the muscles are aching and saying don't, to have the discipline to wake up. To have the discipline to eat the right food they told you. To have the discipline to eat that food at the right time. To have the discipline to take the rest that they told you to take. They have the discipline to not train when the physio tells you, you rest.
Walker's next destination after Tariet Sports Centre is the Murchison Falls National Park for safari and sport fishing.
So we are very amazed by his coming. The Sabinis are so happy.
Dennis Igoa for UBC News in Kapchora.
The Minister of State for Energy, Okasai Sindronius Opolot, has warned against electricity infrastructure vandalism while presiding over the commissioning of electricity line in Kashare sub-county in Mbara district. Okasai said electricity infrastructure destruction puts people's lives at risk and leads to economic loss.
You are now free to get connected.
Destroying electricity infrastructure is criminal and punishable by courts of law. State Minister for Energy and Mineral Development, Okasai Opolot, says vandalizing public infrastructure is a terrorist act.
And the first case which was actually charged of terrorism was a group that were arrested in Mbarara. They were charged before the courts of law of terrorism.
Okasai was recently commissioning an electricity line for Kashari and Nyabisirira sub-counties, Kashari North in Mbara district.
I now symbolically launch and commission the Kashari sub-county line.
The Member of Parliament, Kashari North Mbarara District, Bataringaya Basil Rankwene, observed that the delay to fully implement rural electrification had led to continued environmental degradation as communities cut trees for firewood.
Our products now, maize, millet, milk, coffee, all are processed and value added, and we get more money for development, including using it in the parish development model.
The chairperson in Mbarara District, Tabaro Dida, says the District Security Committee wants UMEME officials to report to the village chairpersons before climbing an electric pole to control vandalism of electricity cables.
As the Security Committee, the District Security Committee, we made a resolution that each and every staff, either of UMEME or Ministry of Energy, who wants to tamper with the electricity poles must first of all report to the LC1 and the nearby security.
The Deputy Resident District Commissioner Mbarara, Kaswabuli Watch Simon Peter, says the Area Security Committee wants judiciary to give an appropriate punishment against those caught vandalizing electricity infrastructure.
At least not always first give bail to those suspects who've taken to the courts that have stolen, vandalized the wires of UMEME. We've been taking them there, and then because it's their right to have a bail, they get bails in just 1 day or 2 days, which does not send any message to any other vandals.
Mutoni Helda and Deo Habimana, UBC.
Researchers and farmers from 14 member countries under the Association for Strengthening Agriculture Research in Eastern and Central Africa are meeting in Entebbe to map out strategies on how to increase financing of agriculture research as one of the key outputs. The meeting aims at charting ways for farmers to enable them benefit from the agricultural technologies being developed in the various member countries within the region.
Representatives from 14 African countries through their governments have mandated the Association for Strength Agriculture Research in Eastern and Central Africa to coordinate and convene human, physical, finance and institutional capital to implement agriculture research for development initiatives in Eastern and Central Africa. The Acting Director Agriculture Extension Services, Deus Muhezi, explained that government has prioritized research for the development and transformation of agriculture.
Research and technology development is the first priority for agricultural transformation in this country under the National Development Plan 3 and agro-industrialization agenda, which the government of Uganda is implementing.
ASALECA is a sub-region intergovernmental organization for the national agricultural research systems in 14 African countries.
Sure that countries themselves, our countries, contribute to ASALECA activities significantly. Relying on donors from outside, yeah, it's important and comes as a top-up, should come as a top-up, but not as 100% of the financing our activities.
The Executive Director, ASALECA, Dr. Enoch Walinda, says member countries want to increase the funding of ASALECA programs so as to help reach out to a number of farmers in the respective member countries.
But more particularly, improving on the service delivery. How can the last mile, the farmer, benefit? How can the farmer be linked up with the private sector? How can the farmer work directly with the universities for advice and for support?
The conference attracted researchers, farmers, private sectors, players and other stakeholders from Burundi, Cameroon, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Kenya, Madagascar, Rwanda, Republic of Congo, South Sudan, Sudan, Tanzania, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Uganda.
The Ministry of Health, together with implementing partners, has launched the first national community health strategy with emphasis on moving from one curative to preventative style of addressing ailments. Community health is aimed at improving health outcomes by consolidating community health system guided by broader global, regional and national policies and frameworks, including the National Development Plan 3.
Congratulate the Ministry of Health of Uganda for launching the National Community Health Strategy. Congratulations.
The Minister for Health, Dr. Jane Ruthacheng, and implementing partners have launched the first National Community Health Strategy that will be implemented in the next 5 years. The Minister said that improved community health has contributed to the enhancement of the country's health outcomes.
This is a good step towards achieving better health for Ugandans, towards achieving universal health coverage, and also our targets in the Sustainable Development Goals. Within the 5-year period, the community strategy has been costed at 25 billion Uganda shillings.
The minister called upon stakeholders to take the strategy as a core reference to guide planning, implementing community health services throughout the country.
The latest the statistics from the Ministry of Health shows us that 75% of the disease burden in Uganda is preventable, and hence comes the importance of the community health strategy.
It's long overdue, but better late than never. So it's going to guide all of us on how to implement in the community. So right now, there are very many models, many pilots. The services are fragmented. We give community healthcare workers different names across the board. We are using different training manuals, different guidelines. So the strategy is coming to really align all of us, and that is a very good thing. So I consider that the national strategy, that this is the beginning of a new era.
The Ministry of Health and its partners, including my U.S. government agency colleagues, to commit to enacting the new strategy with energy and diligence. Your actions will help shape the health outcomes of millions of Ugandans.
The chairperson, Parliamentary Committee on Health, Dr. Charles Ayume, pledged to support the execution of the strategy, citing that it will guide development of an effective community health services.
Luckily, we have the political blessing, because sometimes it's very hard to drive such an agenda when there is no political blessing. And by political blessing, I mean from the top. His Excellency has a very big buy-in. He's a pupil of prevention. He thinks that as a country we have invested a lot in curative, and it's high time that we gravitate towards prevention. You've heard him time and again say that most of our diseases are preventable. I think this is a very big entry point. This strategy is a very big entry point because it speaks to the community.
The National Community Health Strategy is aimed at increasing access to quality, affordable and equitable health services through community participation. Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
Thank you, Zahara Abigaba. Now, retail fishmongers in Arua City are requesting the government of Uganda to reduce taxes on fish imported from South Sudan. Recently, the tax on a truck of fish entering Uganda from South Sudan has risen to 0.6%.
Retail fishmongers in Arua City are crying to the government of Uganda for reduction of taxes on fish imported from South Sudan. Women in circle groups, including those in Imyoga circles in Arua City, are some of the fishmongers who depend on fish from South Sudan. This is the business they depend on for their children's school fees and paying back their loans.
The tax, it is increased. It is hard to me to go there and buy fish from there. Now I'm counting here and sell from here. So I borrow from SAF and Nyaga. Now they are taxing me. They will need their money, but I cannot get that money.
Bandolo kwa mani du milioni na fazi bengonde echadi milioni azia milioni aziri la descente azi mano chokune amatere avina zinga government maloni dikisiba magama sente mo feta hermane wa rusarse.
So government should help us to bring the tax law so that we get some amount of money to pay our children's school fees and get loans.
This is after fish from South Sudan en route to Arua City have been diverted to Democratic Republic of Congo due to the import taxes being raised from 0.3 to 0.6%.
Now diverting these trucks to Congo is a very big blow to the tax base here. Is a very big blow to our local women here.
Currently, a truck full of fish from South Sudan is charged between 14 to 20 million shillings compared to the previous when it ranged between 8 to 12 million shillings. The chairman, South Sudanese Fish Suppliers Association, Tony Matthew, briefed the media about their concerns.
Import duty alone can be charged like 14 million, 12 million per truck. The money that the revenue collects from us per truck raised from 14 million to 20 million, of which it has affected our supply to Arua. Since the reception of this letter by the URA, there is nothing else I can do rather to divert. As per now, 90% of the trucks which should be entering Arua, they have diverted to Kanungu, Chihihi, Bwera, side of Congo, Eastern Congo. And most of them have diverted to the route of Aliwara, going to Kisangani.
Diversion of fish trucks to DRC has also affected offloaders who are complaining of few numbers of trucks that they offload in a month since December 2022. They say offloading fish is the source of income they depend on.
I was paying my school fees from money which I shouldn't even tell because I was actually a smuggler. Now when they came, I got the chance to work with them and I've been able to pay my tuition at the university. Most of the blockers who are here were criminals. I'm sure the government might have heard about it. This place was well known for thieves and most of these boys, they have been recruited here.
When everything was okay, when the tax was normal, we have been fine, we have been working, we have been making money. But unfortunately things turned upside down. The government decided to increase the taxes.
I would rather request the government to lower the price of the revenue to 0.3, whereby a truck will come daily.
Joseph Odama, UBC.
Joseph Odama in Arua City. Now, Muslim leaders in Luero district have started early preparations ahead of the consecration of the Luero district Qadi, who is to be installed next month. Uganda Muslim Supreme Council cabinet member Haji Abubakar Kalume believes that with Sheikh Ramadan Mulindwa seated as substantive district Qadi will propel unity and prosperity among Muslims. But for the inauguration ceremony to succeed, the leadership has started a fundraiser for the required 200 million shillings, of which 10 million have been raised during the inaugural fundraising ceremony at Luero Muslim District Headquarters.
And very other prominent reasons. We were in the office of the district card. We have planned thoroughly very well to have a very important function of 18th March, where we're expecting the President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency General Museveni.
I have been the acting district Qadi of Luero Muslim District for quite a number of 4 years, and a procedure was followed to nominate the 3 names, among which the Majlis Ulama, the Council of Sheikhs, the National Council of Sheikhs, could pick one as substantive district Qadi. Luckily enough, I was picked up as the substantive district Qadi for Luero Muslim District. Therefore, that is the reason why, as Luero Muslim District, we have decided to organize an inauguration ceremony for the very first time to consecrate the district Kadhi of Luwero Muslim district. And we call upon everybody to join us to celebrate.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Fun battery phone.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Kabode Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabode deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabode Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
Get the most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda from Airtel. Now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes, 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1 GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. With Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back from that break. And now into the international scene. Cold, hunger and despair gripped hundreds of thousands of people still left homeless by earthquakes in Turkey and Syria, while hopes fed of many more people being found alive amid the ruins of cities. The death toll from the quakes, which struck early on Monday morning, passed 19,000 on Thursday across both countries. That surpasses the more than 17,000 people killed in 1999 when a similar powerful quake hit Turkey's more densely populated northwest.
23-year-old Furkan is a medical worker from Istanbul. He joined the rescue operations in Malatya as a volunteer.
We do whatever is needed. We enter or exit. We do everything. We try to help as much as we can.
Furkan says the aid teams here are also in need of support.
Even if it's just dry bread to eat or water, that's enough for us. We're in a very difficult situation.
Now, Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky said several European Union leaders told a summit he attended on Thursday that they were ready to provide Kyiv with aircraft to help it fight against Russia's invasion. Zelensky spoke after joining for the first time ever all the 27 national European Union leaders' talks in Brussels, part of his second trip abroad since Russia attacked a year ago this month, and one meant to get more arms from allies. President Volodymyr Zelensky told leaders at a summit in Brussels that Europe's freedom depends on Ukraine. And with that, we come to the end of this news bulletin. Thank you so much for your company. On behalf of the newsroom team, the team behind the scenes and myself, we wish you a lovely night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Okay, so these receipts, okay, plus this one equals,
Keeping up with your transaction history the old way.
1,000. Okay, I got this. I don't. Okay, maybe if I can just...
Keeping up with your transaction history with the My Airtel app. You have the power in your pocket. The power to keep an eye on your transaction history. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
Frantz Fanon said, "Each generation must, out of relative obscurity, discover its mission, fulfill it, or betray it." I know a man who, in fulfilling his life's mission, has raised the foundations of many generations.
With Kampala captured and the leader of the National Resistance Army, Yoweri Museveni, now president, their task is to move forward until they make contact with the UNLA troops.
Do you see the NRM as being naturally aligned to either the East or the West in particular?
No, we are aligned with Uganda and with Africa. This assumption of the Western countries, or of some outside countries, that we must either be for the East or for the West, is actually racist, to say the least, because we have got our own interests, and these are the ones we are pushing. And if we have got allies, those who agree with us, as far as our interests are concerned, then they are our friends.